It's Saturday morning, and it's time for another Gardening with the Garden Guru, presented by Shores Bumper to Bumper, downtown Goodland. Yes, your Garden Guru is with us this morning on KLOE Goodland. Christie Rasure, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Curtis. I'm doing well.
Wow. After all this wind and heat and everything, you're still doing well then.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't wilted a little bit, and I didn't say I wasn't windblown, but I'm here. I'm here. It's summer. We're finally thawing out.
Well, I tell you, it's finally summer.
It is.
Officially yesterday, the day before there, their first full day of summer, so the days actually are getting shorter.
I know, and I'm not ready for that.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
Sorry.
I love the long days. I love to have gardening time all day long.
Oh.
So, now it means that fall's coming again. I'm not ready for that.
I don't know. We'll find out. Well, harvest is done pretty well, I think, for most farmers and ranchers, so we appreciate that. I want to take our hats off and say thank you to the guys and the gals that make the harvest possible. It's just been busy.
It has been. It's been such an early harvest, and then on top of it, it's been such a hot one, but a fast harvest. And I've heard many farmers say the same thing, a very fast harvest because everything got ready right away. And the other thing is I've heard many people say it was a very pleasant surprise of what was in that field. So,
yes.
We do. We want to take our hats off to the farmers, and they are gardeners in the big way.
Oh, my. Big time. And it's a busy weekend. I think the elevators are still going. And let's see, we've got the Slice of Life golf tournament going on today, Saturday. We've got a lot of yard sales. There's the Levi Hayden Memorial Baseball Tournament. So there's plenty to do this weekend.
There is. And there are a lot of people in our town. So welcome to Goodland. We are happy to have you. And, if you have nothing else to do, go downtown and see all the shops, and then, you might just take you to Shores. Just might.
I think so.
And maybe you can find some new things that you need for your garden in Shores.
I bet they can. Yeah, Shores, my goodness, they've been open since 5 this morning, Monday through Saturday. That's pretty nice and convenient, not only for early morning gardeners, but I know it's been good for those in the harvest fields.
That's right. I was going to say, the sooner you can get your parts and get what you need, then the sooner you can get going and work the whole day through and not have to stop constantly.
You better believe it. Well, Shores and Fertilome Yard and Garden Products bring you the Gardening with the Garden Guru, Christie Rasure, every Saturday morning at this time. Christie, we've got quite a bit to talk about. There's a new water fertilizer unit. We'll get to that later. But boy, this heat and the effects of plants, it's just, I kind of felt like wilting one or two of these days.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a little tough on us. We did have the rain last weekend, which really did help. And, it's amazing what just a little bit of rain, which most of us had around a half inch or more. But even that, and then turned the heat on, and my Lord, our gardens and the weeds and everything else just started growing.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to watch that. But then we had the wind, and all the wind does is dry us out. And unfortunately, we need to keep watering. And I know we don't want to always do that, but we have to do it just to keep anything alive. And so right now, truly, you can't be putting enough water on those plants. And so that is something that we want to be able to make sure that everybody's getting enough water on those lawns, on those gardens, and then also on our trees.
Well, now, Friday night and Saturday, early this morning, some rain showers in the tri-state area, but we still need to keep water going. Soaker hoses or just those creeping sprinklers, what's the best?
Well, it depends on where you're doing it at. Like our creeping sprinklers are great for your lawns and gardens, especially the edges of the gardens if you can water that way. The soaker hoses, I can't say enough about those for the around trees, for borders, for edges of lawns, anything like that where you just have a hard time watering and where you don't want to lose water into the street. Then you want to use your soaker hose. And so that is something that's very important. One of the things that you do not want to be doing right now, and I know a number of people have asked me this because they hadn't gotten their trees fertilized yet and all, do not be fertilizing your trees right now. They're struggling. Because of all the heat, because of all the wind, they are truly just trying to survive. You give them food, which they want that food, but what they're doing then is trying to get that food up to where they need to go, up the tree. And unfortunately, they don't have enough energy, as to say, because they are lacking in water right now to be able to move that fertilizer. And you can actually burn that tree.
Oh.
And so we really say, don't fertilizer at this time.
Just water it really good. Now, what's the best way to do trees? Christy, let's review that.
The best way is really, if you can, if it's a protected area, then you can use a low sprinkler. But otherwise, soaker hoses are wonderful for that. Or the misting systems, the drip systems, anything like that are great for trees because you don't lose the water that way. If you've got trees that are in like tree breaks and wind breaks and all those, if you've got a drip system, that is wonderful. That's the way to go on those. If you've got new trees, you can't be putting enough water to those. Make sure that you're watering heavy and watering a lot because the transpiration, because of all the wind and the heat, is unreal, what they are losing minute by minute.
Yeah, the old evaporation transpiration report we've started on KLOE throughout the week, and it will go for quite a while. I know that Shores has the soaker hoses, they've got the garden hoses, and they can also help you big time with sprinkler units in ground, and they can even help make sprinkler units and systems for you.
They can, and they've got, as I was saying a little bit ago, the mister systems, which is the micro misters. They have those that come in full rounds, half rounds, quarter rounds, and so you can have them as tall as you want and as short as you want, and so you can keep that water where it needs to be. They also have the drippers for all of your inline, underground, or for above ground. Also, what Greg just got in this week is what we call spaghetti tubing. It is a small tubing that you can take from your main hose, which is usually a little larger, which is 1/2 inch to 3/4, and then your spaghetti tubing is usually like about 1/4 inch. And what it is very flexible so that it won't crack, it won't break during the winter, but you can put it wherever you want it. And he was able to get this, and he's got it in he's actually measured it out, and they'll sell it in smaller lengths.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, what's really nice about this is I like to use spaghetti tubing and put a dripper nozzle at the bottom of it and put it like on the hanging pots or on all my container gardens, and that way you can water a whole bunch of plants at one time.
Oh, great idea.
Yeah, it works really well.
Can you put a timer on that and water them for a half hour and then you're done for a little bit?
You can, and actually they have the different timers. They even have the battery-operated timers that at, say, 10 o'clock, or let's say 7 o'clock on every morning, it can come on. And so for an hour and a half, it can water your pots, and you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, man, that's time saving. You could spend time with the kids.
That's right, exactly.
Or grandkids.
Yes, and you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you check those batteries every once in a while. And what I always tell people is when you have drippers, always make sure that you check those dripper lines, make sure they are watering right and that they are not plugged, because they can get plugged pretty easily, especially when you first get it set up. So I always tell people, for the first week or so, make sure you check those dripper nozzles to make sure they're working right.
Great idea. And Shores they also have those great Flexogen hoses. Man, I love mine.
Yes, I was going to say, it's a lifetime hose you don't have to ever worry about.
Shores can make special water hose lengths, too, and if you happen to run over one of your nozzles and flatten it out, boy, that's a pain to work with.
Yes. But the thing is, it bounces right back, and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and Shores can repair the ends of the hoses, too. And you're always, what is it, you carry some rubber hose washing, or rubber washers?
The little rubber washers. It's a packet of about 10 or 12, and they're like $1 or so, and you don't have to worry about wasting water at all times.
Well, that's great, because a leaking hose will leak a lot of water, and you won't know it, maybe.
That's right. And the thing is, when we think that we're just leaking a little tiny bit, that adds up. And, a gallon or two really will add up, and you never know when you're going to, how much you're going to lose there. So save as much as you can. Great
idea. So the heat's really hitting these plants hard, too.
Yes, it is. And the thing is, like our container gardens and all that, that is tough because we don't have, a lot of root space, a lot of water space. So we definitely have to make sure that we are watering twice a day.
Is it too late to start planting any flowers or flower pots outside?
No, well, flower pots, make sure you're watering them heavy for especially the first 2 weeks. Water them 2 to 3 times a day. But then on the other thing, make sure that you are going and, if you're going to plant seeds, I'd be planting them early in the morning and make sure that you keep them watered at all times.
Okay.
Okay?
Good idea. Let's see, what else is focusing here? We've got the water going, we've got the wind going, the heat. Is it better to water in the morning or afternoon?
Hang on 1 second. Okay, I've got a customer here, so hang on 1 second.
Oh, good. Okay, well, it'll give me time to take a quick break and let everybody know that you're listening to Gardening with the Garden Guru, Christie Rasure, presented every Saturday morning at this time on KLOE Goodland, AM 730. It's every Saturday morning at 8:30 Mountain, 9:30 Central, and it's presented by Shores Bumper to Bumper and those great Fertilome yard and garden products at Shores. Now, Shores has been open since 5 this morning, and they're located downtown Goodland on Main Street, just north of 17th Street. I tell you, there's nothing better than going to a great store that has a lot of products in it to help you out. Christie Rasure, the gardening guru, is with us. A busy gal, Christie.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry about that. I had a customer, and I needed to take care of the customer.
Well, sure.
So they were looking for stuff for their planter. So something I also want to say is, to let people know, too, is the insects, because it is dry, because we have not had the rain to wash the bugs off, and spider mites, thrips, aphids, they like to hang on to those plants. When we have a rain, it washes them away, and basically it drowns them. We have not had that, and so needless to say, they have just taken over. I mean, we've got a really major problem with, especially spider mites and aphids. And so the systemic, and this is actually a houseplant insect control, it is good to use on your container gardens as long as there are no vegetables in those containers, okay? Make sure you don't have anything that you're eating on that.
Oh.
But this is a good product to use in your containers. Fertilome has come out with this product, and I use it a lot. I use it on my plants inside. I also use it on my containers outside. And because we are watering at all times, we are leaching that water out, and so we are losing chemicals from insecticides and fertilizer at all times, so we have to go and give them a little more. So this is something I would really recommend this week, is to use a systemic houseplant insect control. The other thing that a lot of people have been complaining about is, because of the spider mites, is to go and take and just hand water or spray your trees off, especially the dwarf Alberta spruce. They have been really having problems this year. And some of the some of the container gardens, some of the finer plants are also having problems with that. If you'll just take that water and just spray it on there, basically washing that plant off, then you can get a lot of those aphids out and wash underneath those leaves, and you can get rid of a lot of those aphids and spider mites.
You know, Shores has some nice spray nozzles, some that look like little shower heads. Those are really nice to use.
Oh, they are. They're called water breakers, and they are wonderful. And the thing is, by using those, you're not losing your soil out of your containers also, and they work really well.
Yeah, you're not getting too much water power to blow the soil out, for sure.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And that happens very easily.
Oh, yeah.
And so another product that works really well at this time of year, and it's a good time of year to be doing it, is if you have grass growing within your perennials, this is a good time of year to be able to spray this product called Over the Top right on that grass, and it takes that grass out of like your daylilies and your irises, or any perennial beds where you have a really problem with grass coming in within your flowers. Spray this on top of it. You can kill the grass, but your perennials are fine. That's a great product to be using at this time of year.
And it's over the top.
That's right.
Over the top. Okay.
We just spray it over the top. It kills the grass and leaves the plant.
There you go. Fertilome added again.
Again, a great name. for a great, and a good product, a very good product.
They really do. Over the top. Okay, well, that'll save a lot of weeding for you.
That it does. It does a lot, let me tell you. So the other thing that Shore's got in this week, and I am so excited to try. I have not hooked mine up because I really wanted to share this with everybody on the radio, is Greg has talked about getting a lawn and garden feeder. And this is an automatic feeder that you actually hook to your hose, and it feeds your plants as you're watering. Great tool. I cannot wait to try this out. The thing is going to be neat about this, for where I'm going to put it, is I've got my hydrant. I'm going to put my timer on. I'm going to put the siphon tubing, and this is going to take about 3 minutes to hook up. That's what's so nice about this, too.
3 minutes?
I'm thinking 3 minutes.
Oh, my land.
It's not going to take long.
Oh.
Anyway, hook that up to my timer. So you got your faucet, your timer, your siphon tubing, I want to call it, and then you put your hose on there. And I can't wait to try this out, because that way I can be fertilizing my garden while I'm watering, and I don't have to be worrying about, are they getting enough food? Are they even getting fed? Because sometimes I don't have time to be doing it. It takes a water-soluble fertilizer, which actually Fertilome makes one for container gardens and for our gardens. It's a water-soluble, so it works with the system. I told Greg I can't wait to see is how long it takes to go through a container, because we don't know. And so we are going to be testing this out to find out how long it's going to take to go through it all.
Wow. So a lawn and garden feeder, you hook up to your hose or your faucet there, and it just takes off, and you could put a timer on it, and you're in business.
That's right, exactly. And the container, what I have in front of me is a 3/4 of a gallon capacity. So I'll put all my dry fertilizer in there, and then it will continually feed. And so, like I said, by next week I'll be able to tell you how much, how long it will take to fertilize the entire garden with that amount of fertilizer. The thing is, too, with that fertilizer, I'll know exactly how much area I can fertilize, and so it'll be a great test for the whole thing.
Well, this show's really scientific. We're doing testing and everything.
Of course. We always test on stuff.
I think that's a great idea.
This is going to be my experiment, this year. Every year I experiment on something, and so this is it this year.
Well, there's just no end to fun things we can do. And Shore's bumper to bumper, golly, they've got so much of the gardening and yard products, plus, car parts, truck parts, and all that, but that's a different show. But
right, exactly.
We're in the garden season and water season right now. Well, the heat and all this, it's going to help out. Now, on windy days like we have had, we've had wind this year, haven't we?
We have, and we've had a lot of wind, and that's the thing. With the wind, it's just a whole different ballgame on what we're trying to protect. They have down there, like the netting, they have the different types of, I don't want to say plastic, but because, we don't really want to suffocate our plants, but we do need to sometimes protect the plants. And but they do have some of the different types of apparatuses that we can use to protect our plants down there.
Good.
The other thing that we also want to stress, too, is if you have not had your lawnmower serviced for a while, and you need to do that, they've actually been able to get kind of caught up on that. And so Greg had made a comment, if anybody's needing to have their lawnmower serviced, they've got the time to be able to do it right now. And so bring your lawnmower in to be serviced, rototiller, any of your small engine parts or small engines, they can be working on that now.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and rototillers always have to be checked. Also, the other thing is you may need to have something sharpened, whether it be a blade or be like the tines of the rototiller, anything like that. They can also do all that.
That reminds me, I'll have to mow my yard, but I'm going to wait till I get some more water.
I understand. I understand that. It makes it, it is a little tough to be mowing, especially if you have a dull blade, when it is so dry. It just does not cut well at all.
Now, when it is dry, we need to really be careful and not mow too low.
Right. Make sure that you've got that mower up a little higher, because that way you're not losing even more moisture out of that grass.
Okay, good. So actually, the taller the grass, it's like a little shade for the bottom of the plant, isn't it?
Exactly, it is. And, it doesn't take quite as much watering that way. So
I
it
like
really
that.
helps.
Okay, very good. They also have the weed trimmers and those great Simplicity lawn mowers. Those, and yours is still working well, I take it?
Works very well. I'm very happy with it. I can't complain at all.
Boy, Simplicity, as I say, don't mow with difficulty, mow with simplicity.
That's right.
And they are. They're easy to start, easy to work with, and you just aim it and squeeze a handle and walk behind it, and you're going.
That's right. It makes, like they said, it's simplicity.
I really enjoy that. Well, I'm glad the mowers, let's see, and you said rototillers, and I think Shores will give you a good deal on riding mowers and those big commercial mowers, too.
They do have the big mowers. They also have the trimmers that we have for lawn edging and so forth. They also have more of the commercial type of trimmers, and that helps.
Oh, it does, yeah. And they've got the string, and there's one that's the battery operated. We talked about that. We do about every week, but it is just absolutely amazing. The battery that runs an hour and a half steady.
Yeah, it is. Hang on one second. I've got a customer again.
Oh, well, good. Hey, lots of customers and lots of things going on at Shores Bumper to Bumper and at Designs Unlimited. Christie Rasure, your garden guru, with us here on KLOE Goodland, the program presented by Shores Bumper to Bumper, downtown Goodland, and they're ready with all the great Fertilome yard and garden products. Oh, friends, you can shake 3 or 4 sticks at it and still not have enough of the items all taken care of. There's rows and rows, and if you need sprinkler supplies and all this, it is just so much, so many things going on. And that just makes it handy all the way through. Christie Rasure's with us on KLOE Goodland this Saturday morning. It's Gardening with the Garden Guru, and we're talking about the all the different things that Shores Bumper to Bumper have in stock. And Greg and Keith will also listen to you. If you're looking for something, they'll do their best to get it for you.
Oh, they do, and that's where the misters came in with all the misting system and so forth. They knew it was a great product. I used that years ago. I loved it. It was when I lived in town. I had the misting system set up in my garden. It made life so easy. Hook it up and go, and didn't have to worry about it. I watered the whole garden with the whole system.
Oh,
Worked
man.
Wonderful. And I'm glad to see that they've got it in. And they've got all the different parts. So you don't have to worry about, okay, I need 10 of these, and they only have 2. No, you don't have that problem. They have all 10 of what you need. The other thing is they can help you design it. So say you go in and my garden is, say, 20 feet by 10 foot, whatever, whatever size it is. They can tell you exactly what you're going to need, when you're going, or how you're going to need them, and how to space them also.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
You get some people, or on the other side of things, you get folks at maybe other stores that I don't know. I don't garden. I don't do anything like that. I don't know.
You don't have to worry about this. These guys try it out, and if they don't try it out, different ones of us do, and we report back and tell them exactly what they need. That's what's so fun about this.
I love it. I love it. Golly, phones are going off all over the place. And that just shows the busy time of the year, not only for the farmers and ranchers, but for folks trying to stay up and keeping the plants watered, the yard watered, and those gardens. It's just amazing. Plus all the different time that we need to do this. But that new water lawn and garden feeder, that's going to be huge. Probably the biggest thing lately.
Oh, I'm really excited to try it. And like I said, I can report next week because I'm going to hook it up today.
I like it. I like it. Well, what else is going on, Christie? We have about 6 minutes left in our busy program.
Well, like I said, because of the heat and the wind, we're just really not focusing a lot on, we're mainly just focusing on watering. We're not focusing on fertilizing or any of that because it's too hard on the plants to be able to take it. Right now, all they're trying to do is just survive. And so that is the main thing. Until we can get some rain, and we're guaranteed some moisture in that ground, that's what we have to really think about. Make sure that you're deadheading your flowers. Make sure that you're making that there are no weeds around anything, your plants, because it's hard on your plants to grow, especially your garden plants. They have a great product called Turf and Ornamental. It's a weed killer, or a weed stopper, and that's actually what it's called, is Turf and Ornamental Weed Stopper. Use that. Perfect in our gardens, and so once you get your gardens cleaned out, then you go and put that down. It's Treflon product, so it works to keep those weeds out. You don't have to worry about it again.
Now, you said deadheading. That's something new to me. What do we do with that?
Deadheading is actually taking off all the old blossoms, and that way promotes growth of new blossoms on our flowers.
You just snip them off?
Just snip them off, or, I've got sharp enough fingernails. I usually just use my fingernails too. So, but anyway, a good sharp scissors. If you're going to do your roses, make sure that you go and take a bucket of Clorox water with you so that you don't put disease from one rose bush to the next.
Oh, good idea.
And I just take a small bucket. It's 1 capful of Clorox to, usually about a gallon of water. And that way you've got, you can keep that scissors or nippers sterilized at all times from rose bush to rose bush.
Great idea. Now, Shores has the snipper scissor shear things too, don't they?
They do. They've got some wonderful ones and some really different sizes, so try them on. And make sure that you wear gloves if you're working with roses too.
Sure. Oh, yeah, save the hands. That could be a thorny issue for sure.
That's right.
Well, Shores has so many different tools, the long tools, the ergonomic tools, those that you could sit on one of the nice garden carts and work. They're about half the size, maybe a yard long, so they've got all sorts of tools for the garden yard work.
They do, and then they also have those kneeling benches, so if you're getting on the ground and need help up, they've got those. They also you can sit on those too, so they can be a double purpose.
Oh, and those great garden carts. I know they've moved a few, but they've got some left for you. Those are great on pneumatic tires. They're so easy to move.
They are, and there's something that it's a lifetime. You buy one, you've got them for a lifetime. You can pass them on.
The grandkids would love it. Say, pull me, take me there.
That's right. And it's got the sides that fold down, so it's not only a cart, but it can be used as a wagon also.
Oh, so much. Hey, how are your tomatoes doing that you're growing?
They're good. They're doing really well. The one down at the store, we've actually picked a couple tomatoes off of it already, and it just keeps growing well. And then the ones at home are doing very well. So very pleased with them. This year, I think, could be a decent tomato year.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple of minutes left now. Shores has the starter kits. You could grow gardens inside year-round.
You can, and they're getting more into the hydroponics all the time. They've got the lights, and we'll be talking more of that in the fall, because a lot of times we will start those more in like September, October, and then that way you can have tomatoes come in December. And so we'll be talking about that more on how to do that more towards September and that kind of time.
Yeah.
Right now, like I said, if we talked about it earlier, if you still want to be planting for your fall garden, it's not too late. You can be planting. Just make sure you keep that well watered, because, and they do have all the seeds still down there, so you could be planting your fall garden.
Now, do we need to be adding anything to our soil once we start doing some more of this planting?
What I believe in is using that Revive. I've just been really happy with that. It opens up the soil, it makes our water wetter, and it puts the nutrients back into the soil that we really need. And it's the micronutrients, it's what we really need, especially to starting plants. And so I believe in using that Revive. They've got it down there. So if you've not tried it before, it'd be worth trying.
Good enough. And then there was another type of product you talked about that Fertilome had. What was it, Over the Top?
Over the Top is for killing grass out of your perennials. Now would be a great time to be doing that.
Now, is that liquid or?
It's a liquid.
A liquid.
Yeah, it's a liquid. You go and mix it up. It's usually, this one's a concentrate. I had to look at it because I had it in front of me. You mix it with water, spray it on your plants, on the grass, and it kills the grass but leaves the perennials going.
Okay. All right. Well, Christie, golly, I tell you, between customers and information, our time is done already. Christie Rasure, Gardening with a Garden Guru. Christie Rasure is presented weekly at this time by Shores Bumper to Bumper and those great Fertilome yard and garden products, downtown Goodland. Christie, what's your reminder?
Always remember, keep those hands dirty.
That's right. We can do it now. Stay cool, Christie. Enjoy your weekend.
We will, and make sure everybody comes out and sees us. I know a lot of people are in town for the Slice of Life and for the baseball tournament.
Good enough.